I really can't. I really can't say for sure. There are times. There are times in your life when sometimes it's just exciting. It's more exciting, to deal with these types of cases, and not understanding, what's going on around you. You really have no clue as to what's going on. And I think a lot of times, I think that's when, people get in over their heads, and then they go through, the hell and back mentality, or whatever. And two, when you're not listening to your heart, when you're not listening to God, when you're not focusing in on the eyes on the prize, sometimes it takes that to smack you in the face and to put you on the right track.
Well, I guess in your case, had to kick you in the ass.
Yes. Repeatedly.
So, well, when it was needed, it was needed. That was the main thing. And that you listened, because a lot of times people don't listen.
And, and two, I was getting some, what I would refer to as, I don't know whether it was intended to be that way, but I was getting some darkness from, other spiritualists. If that makes any difference.
No, I think it does.
And also, ego. Ego
is dark.
Yes. And when you're focusing in on certain things and you don't truly let go and allow yourself to live in the moment, then you've lost. And I think too many of us are so worried about dying that we forget to live.
That's true. And I mean, look at all the death we've seen. I mean, just in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kat asks, by darkness, are we discussing simply negative energy, or are we taking on ourselves, or talking about ourselves or possessions?
Well, I think it could be a little bit of all wrapped up into one, in many regards. I mean, I personally, as a psychic medium, I see energy as it is. I know the difference between, the most extreme negative demonic energy up to, a mad person in a house. I can see those things. I can feel those things, and I can sense it. So I think it's probably a great multitude of things when you look at it from that angle.
I remember the first time you met me at the Kansas City Paranormal Conference, at the one there on Holmes Road. Mm-hmm. And you said, "You've got this dark thing with you. We need to get rid of it."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "We can't right now." I said, "It's got to hang on for just a little bit longer because of something I'm working on." And the next time you saw me, it wasn't there.
No, it was gone.
And I told you I was pretty sure that it was going to go when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. And I wouldn't let you tell me about this thing, because I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really weren't, like I tell people all the time, I'm a hard cookie to crack, first of all. But the things around me, those are pretty easy to see. So, well, that's a whole different thing, Ron. So next time I see you, I'm going to show you the book and see if it matches up with what you saw.
Sure.
The first time that you saw this thing with me. Because I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. In fact, I may have showed you the picture, the drawing that Adam Tillery did at the Paranormal Conference in June when we went.
I'm
not sure. We've had a lot of stuff since then.
Yeah.
I may have showed it to you last year, when we were at the other Paranormal Conference. Who knows? But it had a lot to do with the filming of the movie that we did called The Deep Darkness with Joe Citrone and Richard Grund up in Atchison.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it's gone. So it'll be interesting to to see if you agree. But I remember you asking me yes, I did show it to you, and you said, "Is this the same thing that you see in my basement?" When you were showing me your and then we were going to have some conference calls and we were going to talk, but we never did because we all got busy. But it's good that we didn't because it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
That darkness is dissipated, and that's what we want. So, and I'm glad. So, do you feel like you got possessed at any point by this, besides the voices telling you to end it all?
4 years ago, I think I probably, we've talked about this, but I'm not sure whether or not we've discussed it on the air. But about 4 years ago, I was sitting on my couch here in the basement, and I was in a conversation with my daughter, and Bella was laying down there, and I lost about 40 to 45 minutes of time. And I look up and I finish the conversation, and she's nowhere to be found. And when you lose 40 to 45 minutes of time, and knowing that, and it didn't feel like I fell asleep. Yeah, you know how when sometimes you can fall asleep on the couch. I mean, I'm a master at that. It didn't feel like that. Was I possessed? I would say at the very least, pretty seriously oppressed. I would say back when I was 16, 17 years old, and I saw this ram head with yellow eyes that happens to be on, this experiences within, or it's not experiences within the light. I don't know why I'm saying candy show for some reason, but experiences. I'm gonna have to go back, guys. That sucks when I get old like that and I can't remember. But it was the second the second section of Death the Saga, and what was I possessed back then? I would say I was damn close. When you look at it, no, it was Experiences from Beyond at the Final Frontier 2. I had to look at it.
Well, I know it's right there. So, well, I figured that with all the other things that has occurred, that it had to be, that it was there somewhere.
Yeah.
That the possession, oppression, it was there. That there had to be something that your family saw that also said, tried to help you nix whatever was going on.
Sure. I went through a period where, and you guys know, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm a gentle giant. Now, do I coach like a rabid dog? Yes. That's just who I am when I'm coaching, but I'm a gentle giant. And I was totally out of character, like kicking a fan across the room, unexplained rages, I was losing my love of teaching. I was losing my love of certain things, and it was a little crazy, and without my family's help, who knows what would have happened,
Well, there's a lot of reasons these days that people lose their love of teaching, but we're not going to go there because that might be political. But that's a whole other problem. When I was going to college, I actually wanted to get into teaching. I was doing respite care, and all the kids that I was dealing with had special needs. And it used to really irritate people that I said, I have six retarded cousins. And people got mad at me because I said retarded. I said, well, they know they're retarded. And they got mad. And I was like, well, that's what they were called then. When we were growing up, there was no, handicapped wasn't a word that was really used. And I said, so I've always been around it. And so when I was doing respite care for these kids, I loved dealing with the kids. It was the parents that I had the problems with. So I got to the point where when it came time to really pick my focus, my major, I decided to go with business. I'd already taken all my psychology courses, and it was like, okay, I'm going to get into business. I said, I've already done daycare. Business is just daycare with a little bit of psychology. I can't deal with these parents. And that was my big thing, was I just couldn't deal with parents. Because everything was the teacher's fault. So I kind of got a little irritated with that. So, but you know what I mean. So here's one of the questions from the chat room. Carl asks, and we're going to be going to a break after this, so keep that in mind. Did you ever do a cleansing of your house?
Absolutely. I've done multiple cleansings, especially way back when, when this stuff was really attacking me, whether it be sage, whether it be holy water, whether it be, the prayers and all that sort of stuff. And nothing really worked until I truly allowed God into my heart. And people can call me wacky. They can call me whatever I want. But I also have that uncanny ability to be able to suck these negative energies out of whether it be people or whether it be locations, and for them to go on and have a great life. So, I'm doing what God's path is, laid out for me.
I'm the more I hear you talk, the more I'm hearing how happy you truly are.
Yes.
So I'm very happy for you and for your wife, because I think that she feels like she's got her husband back.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. The guy that she fell in love with, not the guy that you were when we saw you last.
Yes.
Because I remember you asked me a question and I answered you. And the answer would be different now.
What did I ask?
I don't think that's something we should talk about on here.
Okay.
But we are going to be going to break. So everyone, you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. Make sure that you guys tune in on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. to Paranormal Experience with Kat Hobson. You guys are going to love her show. You should. She owns the network too, so she's doing a great job. She gets the right people on here for some reason. I don't know how, but she got me. So you guys tune in to that. Come back and we'll be talking more to Chuck. So you guys got a couple minutes. Run off and come on back.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm here talking with Chuck Banks, author, friend, and Are you